because I was raging inside, like I needed to get that off.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a fork in the road. I was like, okay, either he's gonna hear it and be receptive or he's not, and that's gonna be the demise or the start of the demise of our relationship.
Yeah.
But I,
No, never mind. I'll just do it myself. I mean, you just keep playing your video games and having your cocktails, and I will just do all of the breakfast and all of the lunch and all of the dinner, and that's fine. I mean, nobody needs to notice that I'm doing all the work. There's like three that are in a cluster, but slightly different that I would love to talk about. And they are the martyr, the victim, and the sad puppy. The martyr one is no, I can do it all myself. That's fine. No, I'll just do everything. And they do it almost without objection and they won't let you help. But then you just feel this edge of exhaustion or frustration or whatever. And they actually are feeding off the drama off the unfairness of it.
yeah,
Yeah. And unfairness is even right. But do you know somebody like that where, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, no, just leave me. I'll do it. No, I'll do it.
yeah, I've run into that before, and
Right.
yeah, that one gets me. That one gets me. That gets its hooks in me, I think.
Yes, yeah. And so what do you when it's hooks are in, what is your first reaction to that?
Well,
Because
my
I know
first
what mine
reaction,
is.
my
Go
reaction
ahead.
is, well, I want to help, but
Yeah,
I've been told that I can't.
right. And so you're caught in limbo, fluttering around the edges, kind of going, well, can I do this? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Fussing, right?
Yeah. The words are don't match the energy. So the words are I don't need help, but the energy is I need help. And then I'm
Yeah.
like,
And I'm
okay.
drowning over here.
Yeah.
Yep. And I can, gets my hooks into me too. And again, I think from childhood, because I believe everything starts in childhood. That's where we get the first hooks. But there's a fluttery kind of and I think in my case, I want to tell the story a little bit because my dad had anger energy of various sorts, but my mom would flutter around him when he got like that.
Hmm.
Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And keep the children quiet. Do this, do that, just all around him. He hadn't asked for that,
Hmm.
but you also couldn't just keep moving as if he wasn't having his incident. So it sort of it generated martyr response from my mom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And as you're talking through it, I feel like I do that when I'm mad.
Right.
I'll do the martyr thing when I'm mad.
Right. It's yeah. Yes, and actually I do too, especially when I was a kid. Like I can remember lying in my bed. So I'm like 3 years old, 4 years old. I mean, how do you do martyr then? I would lie in my bed when I was mad at my mom and go, well, fine. I bet she's going to do this next and then she's going to do that. And I'm just never going to get anything. And she just hates me. And I'm just, blah, blah, blah. And I would
Hmm.
it soothed my soul to think hateful thoughts about all the things that my mom was not going to do for me and I was going to be, left in the street freezing.
Hmm.
Wasn't dramatic like that. It was more emotional, and I remember doing that and that was how I soothed myself down from my distress. And then I would fall asleep and then I would wake up and go, "What? What now?"
That's the same as martyr?
That was my 3-year-old form of martyr, yeah.
I see.
Because my mom doesn't love me, she doesn't understand me. She's going to make me do things I don't want to do. She's going to Yeah, that was my form of martyr.
That's the same as the person that's like, I'm doing everything and you can't help.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, and I don't know that this is like for all of these, I think what's going on inside for the person that looks like martyr on the outside, I can't say if it's the same for everybody. I'm guessing it's not. Well, in some cases, I can think of like three different ways it could be of what they're saying inside, even though the outside looks the same. But
Hmm.
what I do know is for me, if I'm in martyr, it's no, never mind. I'll just do it myself. I mean, you just keep playing your video games and having your cocktails, and I will just do all of the breakfast and all of the lunch and all of the dinner, and that's fine. I mean, nobody needs to notice that I'm doing all the work,
Yeah.
right? It's the same sort of thing. And that for me, what I was after with my little sad little child and now is for someone to look up and go, "Oh my goodness, you're so amazing. I can't believe you're doing all of this. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry that I missed it. No, I really need to help you." I wouldn't have let them. Like there isn't a solution, but that's what I think the answer would be. And what I'm feeding off is proof that nobody's saying that to me.
Right. Yeah. I'm finding my footing back to it because I like martyr is like self-destructing.
I'm sorry.
And
There's a, it's gone now. It's so cute. In the background, the door opens. A
yeah.
dog appears at human height, goes down to the floor, and the door closes.
Oh, I didn't see him
You
come
have
in.
Lexus in your room with you now. It's so
Uh,
cute.
Yeah, if I think about martyrdom as like self-destructing, then all of those behaviors like triangulate to self-destructiveness, which is like, yeah, nobody can help me. I'm, on a pathway of terror. I basically want people to feel sorry for me, and I'm going to self-destruct in order to to gather apologies from people, or like I guess energy from people, but like
Right.
sympathy.
But it's subtle because it's not actually the sympathy you're after. It's the lack of sympathy you're after. That's why
Hmm.
people can't help.
The
If
lack
they
of sympathy.
help,
You
yeah,
want no sympathy?
yeah. The proof is that nobody is giving sympathy. Nobody even gets it.
But isn't the person that's like doing all the dishes and doing all the hosting and not letting anyone help, but is clearly bothered by it? Aren't they? My assumption was that they're like feeding off of the feeling that people want to help, but they're saying no, no,
No,
no.
no. They're feeding off the fact that nobody notices them.
But they
And so
do
you
notice
can't
them
help.
though.
I know, but that's counterproductive to what they want. So they're not going to allow you to. That's why you can't help. Because if you help, then they have nothing to bitch about in their heads.
Oh, I see, I see, I see, I see, I see. If they let the help in, their narrative destructs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
I see, I see. Okay.
Right. So I'm
Still
lying
got
in
to
my
sit
bed
with
at
that,
3 years
but
old. What's that?
I said I still got to sit with that for that to sink in, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It takes a minute. So when I'm lying in my bed, my mom would have popped my bubble and ruined what I was doing had she come in and given me a cuddle at that point.
Got
The
it.
proof was the fact that she would leave me because she knew that she would leave me in my bed. I would do whatever I did. I would go to sleep and I would wake up and I would be a happy child again. She knew that. Like basically, I think I was tired a lot of the time when this happened, right? So what was really happening was I was tired, but I was blaming my mom and being a martyr about it.
Yeah.
And so if she had come into my room to say nice things to me, I wouldn't have been able to accept them because that would have ruined the narrative
Right.
that she was awful to me.
Interesting. I wonder how much of all this stuff comes back to narrative. I don't know. Well,
Well, we should play with that because I think
yeah.
that's probably that is. I know there's something about like what do you think they're after? Like it, and so I don't know that every martyr in the world is after that, but I feel like they might be.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe the martyr label doesn't sit with land with me as much as another label because when I think martyr it just sounds so dramatic, but like martyr is like I don't know, blow yourself like really dark, you know? Whereas
Right,
whereas the
right.
examples we're talking about are like aren't they're not dark. They're not like, yeah, I'm gonna starve myself for a week and like
Yeah,
they're not super dark like that. So
yeah.
maybe I need a better label for me or something, but
Right, right. Yeah. Definition of martyr for you is too
it's like
dramatic.
it's like too aggressive, my default thought around it. But
Right, right. Yeah.
that was the one on the list I've been looking at that I never really understood. That was one of the ones that I always
Yeah,
read
you
over and
have
was like, I
it.
don't get. Yeah, I have it. I do it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So the one that's like martyr, but it's different is victim.
Okay.
So victim is almost like the opposite in the fact that you must notice, right? And it's a little bit different, but it's like the world has put upon me, so that's the same. And please notice how unfair this is, and please sympathize with me for the place I find myself because it's not my fault. I had nothing to do with it. This is just how the world has come into my life.
So it's the opposite.
It's the same and the opposite. Yeah. So instead of being after nobody notices, it's everybody notice. Allow me grace and feel sorry for me and fuss over me and support me and soothe me because the world is so mean to me.
Because that validates my narrative that the world is mean to me and my life is
Yeah.
hard or in this moment things are very difficult.
Yeah. And it also allows me because in the nugget underneath all of that is I'm bad or I've done something wrong to have this happen or to exist or whatever. I'm at fault is the underpinning fear, I think, that somehow I'm a loser and I'm at fault. And so to protect against that, I make it the world's problem. And then if you agree with me that it's the world's problem, then it really is the world's problem.
Right. Yeah.
It
I
was
know.
done to me.
Yeah. That one I get a lot more. Like that one's a kind of a clear straight line. I can think of many examples of that. It's the opposite of martyr because martyr doesn't want the acknowledgement, victim does want the acknowledgement.
Yeah, victim wants all the acknowledgement. And victim is can be tricky to find because like we've said this on all of these, just because you're behaving in a certain descriptive way doesn't mean you're being a vampire. Because people are victims sometimes. There are things that do happen. You know,
Yes.
like if you're in a flood and your house is ruined, that actually happened. You are the victim of a flood.
Yeah.
But then, even in that, there can be those people that you can have all the range, right? So you can have people that are kind of going, yeah, this really sucks. I guess we'll rebuild. I'm a little bit worried. My insurance doesn't really cover this. I'm hoping I'm getting some help from the government. Like that's regular conversation person. Or saying, I'm heartbroken because my pictures of my family are ruined.
Right.
That is genuine. That's not a victim. You can have victim, which is, oh, woe is me. This is like the wringing of hands and the this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And I like there's an energy to it that becomes personal. That like I'm the only one that this flood was worse on me than anybody else in the neighborhood. And like there's an energy around it that is where the one is saying what's going on and would like some empathy,
Yeah.
would love somebody to stand and go, yeah, this really does suck, man. Oh my God, this is going to be a lot of work. The other one wants, oh, poor you, baby. Oh no, this is
Yeah.
awful. This is the worst thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the martyr can also show up in that situation going, no, it's fine. I mean, no, I've got a lot of cleanup to do, but it's fine. I've just got to do it. And you know what? There's people worse off than me. And just leave me alone and I'll get it done.
There's also internal martyr, right? Where it's like people that are just internally, that's the narrative in their head is like, no, I don't need any help. I don't need anyone's help. I'm going to do it all
Yeah.
myself. Look at me. I
Yeah.
did all this. And that's the track that's playing in their head. Cause
Yeah.
that's like the hard headedness, stubbornness. And I have that too, definitely. Probably why I'm calling it out, but is that right? Is that how you
Yes,
think about it?
yes, yes. I think in any of these cases, because the other thing is there's levels of maturity to these behaviors. So very early on, most of us learn in society to always be the martyr or always be the victim. It doesn't take very long if it's that obvious for people to just go, fine. You know, you want to be the martyr and you want to do everything, okay, and then just walk away. So it has to become more subtle or it has to become so the purpose of these things is to soothe us, to make us feel safe when we feel unsafe. And then if the world does not respond to martyr the way we would like, or we get the sense that this alienates us and doesn't get us fed, we can turn it internally.
Mm.
So we're feeding ourselves or we're feeding on ourselves, but where it's an internal voice now that just is saying, I just have to do it myself. I just have to do it all myself because it's still, that's how we felt safe in the world, but it's not even in the world. We're not even safe in the world. Like these, yeah. It's such a simple idea, but it's so nuanced and layered.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest problems. That's why talking about it to me makes a huge difference because there's the layer that everybody can see. Then there's there's always you always know something's going on. So when you're doing your internal martyr, I just have to do it all myself. What the world around you might see is, oh, Jamel's stressed.
Mm-hmm.
He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I've asked him if I can help. He barked at me. I know I can't see anything I can do. If I try and flutter around him, it'll just piss him off. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I just leave him, but I know he's not himself right now.
Right.
Right. So you are in that
Down the
spiral
rabbit.
and
He's down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
he's down the rabbit hole and we all have rabbit holes and our closest people recognize our rabbit holes and know what to do when we're in them, which is
And
usually just let them go.
yeah, one thing I literally have that visual when I see somebody like that and they're trying to pull me into their rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're like, the way I see it is like they're in a hole, like
Mm-hmm.
literally a hole. Imagine a hole in the ground. They're in the hole and they're trying to pull me into the
Into the
hole
hole. Yeah.
to stand on my shoulders to get out of the hole. Right.
Right.
Instead of being like, it's hard to do, obviously, but instead of the visual being like, oh, I'm reaching in and trying to help them pull out.
Yeah.
They're like, trying to pull me in specifically to stand on me to get out of the hole. And that's happened a lot of times in the past where I've done that. I've fallen into the hole with whoever. Then all of a sudden, as soon as I'm in the hole,
They can get out.
they're out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
what happened here?
What the hell? Why am I in this hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great image for me for how energy moves between people and how an energy vampire can work, where I am really pissed at you for something. And so I am throwing barbs. I am trying to get you to jump. Or react, just spewing at you. And so eventually you kind of go, what the fuck? And you bark back. And I go, whew, and I walk away because the poison that was in me, I've been trying to hurl it at you. I finally got a hit. Now it's in you. It's not in me. And I don't know what you're yelling about. Stop
I
being
have
unreasonable.
very, very vivid examples of me being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
It's
a
like
bit like the
magic
whole.
almost.
Yeah.
It's like literally magic. What just happened?
Yeah.
What happened
Yeah.
here? It's crazy.
So that a chronic vampire doesn't do that because a chronic
Right.
vampire never gets out of the hole, right? A chronic or never gets rid of the angst. That's that they live there.
Yeah, they're just trying to
So
pull
they
you into
want to,
the hole. They're not
they're
trying to
just trying to
step on
pull you
your
into the hole.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not trying to get out, but some people are trying to get out. Some situations people are trying to get out.
Yeah, it's interesting and like that's the type of stuff where like those extreme examples are why I, believe in this like it's not even which is why I know that this stuff's true, right? Like it's like
Right.
because the subtle examples can sound, I don't know, they can sound like a stretch. It's like, oh, you need
Yeah.
at face value, it can sound like, what do you mean they're trying to steal your energy? It's like, no, look what
Yeah.
happens when there's extreme examples of it.
Yeah. You
You
can
can
actually
feel it.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your body.
I told you this one time, I think, but I was on a plane and there was like a really drunk guy next to me, like blackout drunk, like causing a scene from the moment he sat down. And he was like, like stealing drinks from the stewardess cart. He was causing a scene the entire flight to the point where he got warned 3 times and he almost like lit up a cigarette on the flight, like just
Oh
out of his
yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Everyone around him was like kind of gripping their whatever, like
Yeah.
gripping their
Yeah.
seat.
I can feel it right now. My back is getting tense, right?
Yeah, and I
Oh.
remember getting off that flight, almost borderline feeling nauseous. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I
Yeah.
almost want to go throw up right now because it was just so uncomfortable. And a guy behind me was like literally rocking, like an
Yeah.
old, like
Yeah.
a 45, like a father was just like rocking because he was so uncomfortable and like right, and like
And
those
there's
are
nothing you could, yeah.
very extreme examples.
Yeah.
But it's like that's kind of a good starting point. It's a good on-ramp to like notice other more subtle
That's yes.
versions. Yeah.
Yes, and that's actually why one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about like the interrogate, like the big beefy ones, and also extreme examples like women in abusive situations. When we start with the extremes, it's super easy to see it. But what I've found over the years is it's the same rules. Like there's 10 or 15 rules that cover all of this stuff, but then it's so layered and nuanced and so much a part of everything that it can take years of conversation to actually flush out how it all works, how you can see it in everything.
hmm
Yeah.
I was gonna say sometimes when I try to like make sense of all this, I think like we're birthed from the belly of a star. We're all light at its root. We're all energy at its root. And if you instead of thinking of for me anyway, instead of thinking of like the human body, I think of like,
Right.
oh, we're just, vessels of energy.
Yeah.
And so going back to what you're saying about the flood victim versus the energy vampire victim, it's like you can be a victim without trying to steal anyone's energy, but
Yeah.
if your vessel of like light or energy is like trying to steal other people's like energy, it's a completely different thing and it's something that you could feel it when it happens. But
Yes.
it's just kind of to
Yeah,
your
and you
point, it's
can
just very
feel it
nuanced.
more and more subtly the longer you kind of put this overlay over things. Just kind of use it as a language or a guidepost, a way of measuring or seeing things. Can we talk about one more type of that whole victimy type thing? You can picture a puppy that's done something wrong, right? When dogs do something wrong and they put their little touch their butts in with their tails between their legs and they come scooching towards you, wagging and kind of saying, "Do you still love me? Do you still love me?" And it's just you melt, right?
Yes, if the
Do
dog's
you?
cute
Okay.
enough, yes.
So, have you ever met a dog that isn't cute enough?
No, no, no.
Not when they're doing that. Not when they're intentionally saying, please love me. I'm very
Yeah,
cute and little." Okay. So,
yeah,
people do that too.
yeah,
And it's kind of a form of victimhood because it's basically saying, I am not, well, it is a form because it's saying, I'm not responsible. Or even if I am, you love me more than that. I can't be responsible even though I'm responsible. Okay. Please love
or
me.
or I'm responsible, but I'm really sorry for
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
yeah,
Which again, better would be, dude, I'm so sorry. Like just deliver it. I'm so sorry. But
right.
there's a manipulation involved to say, but you have to be nice to me because I'm so little and sad and cute.
hmm
Right? And it can get actually very wearing because it says, I want to be the victim. I want to be the child. I need you to be the bigger person and accept my apology.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that stuff from a distance, but I don't, I'm trying to think of examples in my little like work or personal life and I'm struggling.
Yeah, I am as well. I wish I could remember what was in my mind when I wrote it down, but I still think it's worth just throwing it out there in case that resonates for somebody.
Definitely no victim. It's similar to victim, but it's like a more, what's the word? Like,
It's cuter.
yeah, and it's more submissive almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more submissive and it's more directed towards like if I'm being a victim, I'm not saying I'm a victim of you. I'm saying I'm a victim of the world. Can you stand beside me and commiserate with me? Like
Yeah.
victims usually don't want to be helped out. Well, they don't. They don't want to be like the food is the victimhood. The it feels good to be a victim in the world because then it's not my fault and I get lots of sympathy and I have a story to tell that is an important story and all that kind of stuff. And so I want you to join me in the mud if I'm a victim
You're saying chronic or not,
or
just
not. Yeah,
whenever someone's in that mode, they're not really looking for
they're not
help.
looking for it. No, they're not. Right?
Right.
Because that takes away the food then.
Right.
So if I am a flood victim and I'm just talking to you, and then you say, hey, guess what? I have $10,000 that I have the authority to give to you to help you out, and I'm in a regular mode, I would be going, oh, that's awesome. Like for nothing, just you're just going to do that. That's great. If I'm in victimhood, my response is going to be more likely, well, I mean, it will help,
Right.
but I really, I mean, it's still like it's going to be erased because that's, I'm not after solutions. I'm after you seeing and you getting in the mud with me and saying how horrible my life is.
Hmm.
Right. Flip it over. If I'm in martyr, I go, oh, you know what? Keep that for someone else. Someone else needs it more than I do.
Yeah.
I don't need that money.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And that's a great way to see the illustration of when I am collaborating with you, you say words and I try and catch the words and understand the words. I try and receive what you're delivering.
Yeah.
When I am in vampire, I'm taking it and seeing how I can turn it to what I want it to be, right?
Or
So if I'm a
dodging it
martyr, it's like,
entirely. Right.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm not looking for solutions when I'm in vampire. And that's why you can't reach vampires
Right.
because
Yeah.
anything you say is going to ruin their buzz.
Yeah. When I always think like anything, anything you say can and will be used against you in those moments. Right. So like
Yeah, yes, it sure
whatever,
will.
it's a lose-lose. Whatever you say is just going to
Yeah.
be bad, neutral or bad.
So we have talked lots of times about the value of saying something for ourselves in those situations,
Yeah.
right? Where I say I've got $10,000 for you in your flood, and you say, oh, I don't need that. That's okay. Give it to somebody else. And I say, it seems to me that anyone in this situation could use that 10 grand, and I think you should take it. And I feel like it's weird that you're not. Or something like that. And it doesn't work very well. What I'm saying is that
Yep,
there are
I
times that
get
we
what you're
have to,
saying.
yeah, where there's times we need to say for ourselves, this is weird. I see you as being weird right now. Or, okay, let's do sad
I have a
puppy.
great example of that.
Oh, do it. Tell me the actual example.
Well, I always go back to work because I feel like that's where my triggers are. Is like, yeah, those are my rabbit holes. But yeah, basically, long story short, like my boss at the time acted super egregiously, and I wrote him a very firm email and told him as much. And because I was raging inside, like I needed to get that off.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a fork in the road. I was like, okay, either he's gonna hear it and be receptive, or he's not, and that's gonna be the demise or the start of the demise of our relationship.
Yeah.
But I need to say it, and it was okay with like, if that it was the latter, and yeah, it ended up being the latter.
But
It was
because
fine.
he made it the ladder or because you made it the ladder?
He made it the latter. Yeah,
Okay, so he
I
took it and threw it back and went, this is a mark against you.
yeah, and I will mark against me, and then actively, actively tried to covertly, like, yeah, tried to erode my, I don't know, whatever,
Right.
tried
Right.
consciously or subconsciously tried to, yeah, hurt me or damage my social capital
Reputation
or
or whatever. Yeah.
whatever.
When there is a warning shot like that's why all those people in the plane were squirming and not doing anything because they will all have had someone like that in their life and known that there is nothing that you can do that doesn't cause worse reaction than what is happening right now.
Well, it's actually interesting. That's a really interesting example because everyone knew the guy was drunk.
Yep.
Whereas, so it's easy to point to be like, oh, that person's drunk. They're not in a good headspace. But when people are sober and do that, it's harder to make that correlation. It's harder to be like, oh,
Right.
how
Right.
are they not in a good headspace? They're, it's first thing in the morning, right? Like they're
Yeah.
thinking clearly. They should be able to hear me, right? And then
Right.
that adds. So you often say like drunk 2-year old, treat them like a drunk 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's actually
And
that's
I
a good
don't
example.
recommend that 2-year-olds be drunk. And I don't
Right.
think they ever are. I'm just saying, yeah, drunk. So the two images that blend together are, yeah, exactly. Drunk people you don't try and reason with. And 2-year-olds when they are having a temper tantrum, you don't try and reason with them.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a good hack to be like, oh, let me just treat
Yeah.
this person right now as if they were super
Like that
drunk
guy on the plane.
and give
Yep.
them a chance. Maybe I'll revisit this tomorrow once they're rested and hydrated and back to
Yep.
thinking clearly. Yeah, that's actually
Yep.
a good example, a good little hack.
So, the point I was making was a little bit off to the side from that, which is that if you need to say it, you need to say it. And it's not going to, the only effect it might have is when a vampire recognizes that they're not getting fed anymore. Right. So you're sending a thing saying, I'm not playing this game anymore. Then they will amp up their game. They will either try and suck you back in or eject you before you can do damage to their environment.
Right.
So I can think of an example recently where I watched as someone who was a very, very quiet vampire, basically just a duplicator, I want to say. It doesn't matter. Someone that just didn't want to be able to be busted for what they were doing, very quietly cleaned
At
out an
work?
office.
Okay,
Yeah,
at
at work.
work. Okay.
Very quietly cleaned out the office space of anybody that could call them on their shit.
As not
Like got
literally
them
cleaned out
fired.
the. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Got them fired, like got them cleaned out, as in the only people that were allowed to stay in this environment were people that were less smart than the person doing the cleaning.
Yeah. That was my example. That was exactly what happened with what I just told you about
Yeah.
my old boss. Anyone who challenged him directly, like, and not just healthy debate, but anyone who challenged like his general point of view,
Yeah.
was, yeah, on the chopping block in his mind
Yeah.
covertly, and he would do whatever he could to boat them out to sea or put them on a raft.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it actually, I don't like to bring up politics, but that's looks like what's happening in the States right now. In your America, they're clearing out the government of anybody that has any brains.
Yeah, I'm going to steer clear of politics, but that is, I mean, that happens all the time in the workplace, right? Like
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
all the
Just,
time, all the time, to the point where it's like, yeah, that's one of my big gripes with that whole environment. Like the closer you are to the dragon, the more obvious it is, and then you're like, well, why am I spending all my time and energy
yeah.
politicking on this thing when we should be like trying to, I don't know,
We
build
should
a
be
cool
collaborating.
product?
And there are, I know that your experience has been the antagonistic workplace, the competitive workplace. There are workplaces, for as long as the people that have set them up that way are there, that are collaborative. And you watch these little bursts of light, these little bursts of brilliance come forth. And if you dig down into those, you find that those people are collaborating and that they've built a culture where ideas are encouraged, and all of that stuff, where it's safe,
Yeah.
and and being smart is a superpower.
Yeah, I think there's pockets of that in the lifetime of a
Yeah.
lot of good companies, but I think inevitably over time it will just, those pockets get smaller and smaller and shorter, and then eventually it's
Yeah.
just pure political. And I think that's just the nature of a corporation.
Humans.
Yeah, nature of
Yeah. Well,
corporation.
you
The
have
nature.
to, I think you have to, the problem is, in order for that not to happen, you really have to understand what it is. And you have to consciously, you have to keep alive in the corporation the notion of collaboration, the notion of the poison of competition. You have to keep it all alive and keep that energy going, keep that culture going. And you can, as long as the people at the very tippy top and all the way down understand it or believe in it, buy into it. But inevitably, someone retires, someone goes to do another job, whatever. And unless they are replaced by someone who understands it as well as they do, it starts to erode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
I can
that's
think
the
of lots of
exception.
examples.
Exception, not the rule. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think it's like impressive that people can do that. I'm like, wow, you're
Yeah,
really
I do
good
too.
at this game. Like, I kind of wish I had that skill, but I don't. So I'm gonna eject myself from this
Mm.
game because I don't want to spend my time getting better at it.
You can only do it if you're at the very tippy top, though.
No,
That's the
it's
only
not true.
person that can start it. That's the only person that could start it. I mean, when I was on the mountain, I had sort of a bubble of, like, I think of it as like a little circle of the people that worked directly for me. And I kind of built a dome over so that they couldn't get hit with a shrapnel from
Right.
the above.
Right.
And so it built sort of a sense of safety. And within our group, you could have ideas and you could feel safe and say what you were feeling and vent and do all of that kind of stuff. But it was temporary, and I mean, it was better than nothing, and I was happy to have built it, but it had no validity. Nobody else
It had
in the
no
organization
influence on the higher
had
up
no
in the
influence,
org.
had no longevity, because it was me doing that.
Right.
without anybody saying, "Oh, yeah, we agree with that."
Yeah, I just mean my only point is that you can politic at a mid-manager level and be successful, right? Like you can play that game.
You don't want to politic. That's the whole point.
No, no, I'm saying other people. I'm saying other people can do that.
You mean compete?
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course. You
Oh
can
yeah, yeah.
compete all the way through. That's the default.
Right. Yeah, that was the
Left
point that I was
unchecked,
making.
everything. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yes. Left unchecked, everything becomes competition.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's like left unchecked, your fridge will smell.
Yeah.
Somebody has to actually be refreshing and rotating the stock and cleaning out the rotten vegetables and wiping down the shelves, and you have to, it's a continuous tending to that
Yeah.
fridge or it will smell.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to stinky fridges everywhere,
Yeah.
keeping us
That's
all
why I like
honest.
gardening, because that gardening is kind of like that too,
Yeah. Yeah,
but in
like
a very
it's
forgiving way.
yeah. I caught myself the other day actually. I got hooked in something and I it was before I was fully in the hole and I caught myself
Right.
and
Nice.
I huddled my internal folks and then was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll deal with this.
Okay,
You
team
guys go
with me.
rest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But
Nice. And
it
did they
wasn't
feel safe? Could you like, when I can do that, I can feel all the little people inside going, "Oh, she's home. Okay. We
yeah.
don't have to worry."
Yeah, it just felt like I don't know, like a relief of, oh yeah, you can divide or you can delegate this.
Right.
That's kind of what it felt like. It's like, oh yeah,
Right.
there's a team in here. You can delegate this one to this person, and
Yeah.
I'll take this one. Which, yeah, it's
It's
relief, and then
like you're
it also feels like, yeah, it restores some element of control in a sense.
yeah. It's like all your insides are collaborating.
Yeah,
Do you think
yeah,
that's on accident?
yeah. That's a recent one. I'd be curious what you do though on stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but like the huddle strategies one. What's another one?
If you can catch it, the huddle strategy works. So to me, the first and foremost thing, okay, number one, you can always come home. That I learned years ago. There is a rule that you can always come home. You can always leave a situation. You don't have to stay, because that's a trap,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you've got a particularly toxic vampire that you're dealing with, that you're in the throes, like you that has you in their clutches, you can always leave. You can leave. Just leave. Now, I'm not saying you can always leave, because sometimes you can't, and then you need to do something more dramatic once you get out of the critical moment you're in. So if you're in an abusive situation, for example, you can't just leave in the middle of someone being aggressive at you. But once that has done and subsided, then you really do need to figure out how to leave safely and get out, because that's
Yeah.
not going to ever get better. But what I'm saying is, if you're even at work, and leave can mean physically leave and go home. It can also just mean drop into silence. But so the first thing to me is disengage in some way, and that might mean leaving. Then the next thing for me, and this is the part that people, I think, self-help community, just be happy, just choose your mood, people miss, is you might have to rant, you might have to victim, you might have to do whatever it is. You might have to do your vampire for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your response vampire. And so go find someone safe to do that with, right? So my go-to, generally speaking, if it's not too serious, I go to a rager. I want to generate so much outrage about what crap this is, and I need someone to get in there with me and be outraged with me, right? And it can take, sometimes, if it's something that I haven't mastered yet, it may be 10, 15, 20 times I get triggered by that person and then need to go out and get outraged about it
Mm-hmm.
before I start going, okay, I think I get it now. S- Sorry.
Well, go ahead. I'll ask you after.
Okay, so what I need to do then is consciously know I need to outrage, and then go find someone that's safe to do that with, to be able to say, listen, I'm working through this problem, and right now all I can feel is outrage. So can I please outrage with you? Can we please just do this together, because I need to say it out loud and get the feelings out.
Okay, so that was kind of my question, but like walk me through. So you're at work one day, you get whatever you want to, you're dealing with somebody that's impossible, and this is like your 15th run-in with them. You want to bang your head against the wall. You're about to lose your shit, but you can't because you don't want to cause a scene. You get home or you go
Yeah,
for a
that's
quick
okay. That's
walk.
more you than me. I don't lose my shit. I'm more anyway, it doesn't matter. Carry on. Yes.
So you're getting pulled into the rabbit hole,
Yes. Yes.
and you can feel it happening. And so assuming you can catch that,
Yeah.
you're gonna leave and go for a walk and then call your friend and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I need to vent," or you're gonna call who?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna text somebody? Or are you gonna what? How's it
Yep.
work?
So I'm gonna maybe call, often it's Michelle, right? My daughter, because she's right here. And I will say, I just need to say this out loud.
Okay.
If I'm talking to you, you might say, "How are you doing?" And I might go "Bleh," at the beginning of a conversation before we start recording and just say, "It's this and this and this and this."
Yep.
If I'm near or talking to my son, he's another one that I do that a lot with. I have a friend, like there's a bunch of people. There's a variety of people that I can do that with, depending on proximity and stuff. How important it is. Like if it's serious enough, I have a friend that is the Jedi master of this stuff. We've been friends talking about this stuff for years. So I will, if I need to, reach out to her and say I need a, and she does the same with me, right?
Yeah.
I need a consult. We need to talk.
Right.
So there's
So you
various
do
layers
set
of
the
it.
stage. You set the stage though.
100%, because they're like, if I am just looking for you to be outraged with me and I'm not looking for a solution, then I'm an energy vampire.
Mm.
And that just feeds on itself. So then I go, because I'm not about, I don't want to be going back and collecting more and going back and collecting more, right? And going, oh, and look at this now and look at this now. Well, if I'm doing that, my vampire is totally in the game.
Yeah, and it's also confusing for the person on the receiving end because you know when you're in that situation, you're like, oh, are they looking for an answer here? Like, do I need to help them solve the solution? Do I give them
Yeah.
feedback? But if that person just says from the get-go, like, hey, I just need a sounding board, then you
Yeah.
can
I
be
need
like,
to say
okay,
this out
cool.
loud.
I know that I'm doing the right thing here by just listening. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
So
helpful.
I say it out loud, and then what I'm looking for from the other person is, yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Yep. Nope, that sounds like, no, I get it. I see where you're coming from.
Right. Is there any
No,
part of
they
you
are
that,
weird.
yeah,
They are weird. It is them.
is there any part of you that would, like, what happens if in those situations, if the person on the receiving end of your event disagrees with you? Is that a
Oh, I
thing?
just go snaky. It just sends me. I just go,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah.
If they do that, or if they try and solve it, it's like,
Yeah.
"Ugh,
Yeah.
that's not what I need right now. Don't tell me that,
Yeah.
because I'm not looking for you to decide how I'm feeling. I already know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say the words to get that out of my body and let it disperse in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to do that first. And then we can talk later about whatever, but we're not there right now. Right now, I just need to say words to you.
Yeah. There's someone in particular that anytime I try to do that stuff, they're always trying to see it from the other point of view. And I'm like,
Yeah. Ugh,
no. And then,
no.
and then I have done that and do that sometimes because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, because I'm
Yeah.
unclear that they're just trying to vent. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to help them solve the solution. Maybe if I try to represent the other person's point of
Yeah.
view, right? And then it doesn't
Yeah.
work at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
No,
So
no.
if,
And I
yeah.
mean, you can very likely just say, "Do you want me to help you solve this?" And they'll go, "No, I don't."
Yes.
Okay. Do
Yes.
you want me to just listen? Like, are you venting now? Don't say just venting, because that diminishes it. But are you venting? Is this a venting session?
Yeah. That's really helpful. So like the things that have to go right there is A, you have to be aware that you're getting caught in the rabbit hole. B, you have
Yeah.
to have like for this solution, you have to have somebody, a go-to person
Yeah.
that you can
It's,
go
it's
to.
really
C,
important to find a go-to person.
and C, which I think important for me because is setting the stage, right? Like what
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because that
You have to set the stage. Some
yeah,
people might be intuitive enough to go, "Oh, they're venting that right now. Oh, I see where they are. They're at the stage of having to say it out loud." But why
right.
would you ask that kind of judgment of other people? Just tell them.
Right. Yeah, and especially obviously as you get reps in with people and like I actually have a friend that we recently started like a business friend that we catch up pretty regularly, and recently we've kind of gotten to a point where like, oh yeah, we're just, and now we call it out. We're like, oh yeah, we're just venting about this thing, which is helpful. But it took, a couple of years to kind of get to that point where,
Yes.
yeah. And so that's actually been really helpful. I was talking to him recently, and he kind of called himself out in the middle and was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm just venting about this," which I know is totally fine. And he went on, and that was, yeah, helpful for me because I'm like, okay, cool. That was my read on the situation too, but glad that you confirmed it.
Now I've
And
got validation. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's a cool,
And I want
it's a
to
good
say,
strategy.
err on the side of assuming people are venting,
Mm,
right? Because unless people are not very good at asking for help immediately or looking for guidance or yeah. So err on the side of assuming they're venting unless they say otherwise, because you're not going to make a mistake. If they sometimes I hear Michelle's voice. She'll be saying stuff and I'll just be sitting there listening and she'll go, well, do you not have an opinion about this? And it's,
right.
I'm sorry. You want me
Yeah.
to say stuff? Okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But they will ask because so the second thing is even when I'm not venting, odds are I'm taking a survey.
Right.
So I'm not looking for you to solve it. I'm looking for your opinion on it, your take, but not with the energy of do this. More of the energy of if it was me, I would. I use that line a lot. If it was me, I'd do this. And that all I'm really saying is, if it was me, I'd do this. I am not in any way suggesting you do this because I don't know what you want to do. I'm just giving you a, for instance, if it was me, I'd do this.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the second step of it.
Yeah. To your point, it's like less risky to assume venting than it is to assume solution.
Yeah, I don't almost never solution.
Yeah. And by
Eh,
definition,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say, by
I was just gonna,
definition, if somebody's angry, by definition,
yeah,
they're likely unable to. It's usually a one-way street, right? If somebody's that fired up, it's usually, yeah, a one-way street. It's hard to have like, when's the last time you had like a good, healthy convo with somebody, you or the other person's like pretty fired up,
yeah. It's really hard
have
to
a
say anything
back and
sensible.
forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Even the solution, like my brain kind of goes, solution? Someone's asking for a solution. Are you sure that's not a vampire? Like it
yeah.
feels a bit, we each drive our own boat, right? So asking for advice, like handing over, sure. Like I don't know how to get the schedules on my computer to be
Calendars.
on the different email addresses, and I don't want to learn it.
I saw
So
that.
if you want to do it for me, fill your boots. I would love it if it was there. I don't want to learn it. That's solution, right? I'm asking you to solve this for me, please, because I don't want to.
Hmm.
But mostly I'm asking for what would you do? And then I'll see if I want to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so back to if you're triggered, you have to withdraw in some way because going as we have covered, doing anything with the vampire is useless and just as exacerbates the problem. So you have to disengage in some way, and then oftentimes you have to just spew, just get out of your system because what's happened is they have poisoned
Hmm.
you in some way, and you have to eject the poison somehow. You have to come back to a place to get rid of whatever you have to get rid of so that you can come to a place where you feel grounded because that's the only place that you can solve the riddle from is your grounded place.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Or yeah, out of the hole. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, out of the hole. Exactly. And then there's so many different ways and I only know the ones for me and people I know. I don't know the answer for how you permanently fix that or permanently resolve it because that's the work. So this last time, I would say it's 98% resolved now. There's little snippets of just clues of things that are left. But in order for me to solve it personally, I needed to understand the vampire I was being approached by. I needed to understand I needed to see the profile because once I can see, then I understand. And once I understand, then I'm no longer hooked.
Hmm.
I was getting hooked because I didn't understand. It was like felt like out of left field, and I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's rare to be aware that you're like getting pushed into the hole, and then also go in the hole.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if you're
And
aware
I
that
kept
the
finding myself in the fucking hole. Like,
yeah,
why am I in the hole again? What is going on?
yeah,
How am I being tricked into this?
yeah, yeah. Okay, so is that so? Huddle strategy. What do you call your strategy?
I don't call it
Huddle
anything.
huddle strategy. Well, yeah, that's like a phone a friend strategy, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Ask for help or
Yeah.
ask for connect. So, okay, all right. So let's try it that way. So disengage from the energy that is poisoning you, that is not good, that's sucking you dry, and then connect with good energy and allow the other stuff to dissipate, not by putting it into the other person, but by allowing them to sit with you to send it away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that other stable person can allow you to stabilize and ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do from there is quite a variety of things, right? So one of them is, for me, is figure out how that happened, figure out what's going on with that, and then find ways to um, find a reminder that you can, like a thing that you can hook on to go, oh, this is this. I remember. This is what's happening here, and I'm not buying in. So you can set little flags so that when you get back there, you kind of go, oh, right, I figured this out. What is my flag? Don't bite. This is what's going on. Okay, I'm not going to bite, right? So you can over time you can do that. The reason I'm hesitating on what you do is because the fact that I was triggered in the first place is about me.
Mm.
Because and in fact, in this situation, I am the only person in my environment that is triggered in this way. I'm also the one that this person's competing with, but I'm triggered in a way that other people are not triggered. And even trying to vet it with Michelle, she was like, "How do you not see this yet? Like, why are you still here? Why
Mm-hmm.
haven't you figured this out?"
Why
Um,
haven't you patched that hole so you can't fall in
yeah,
anymore?
like it's such
Yeah.
a little hole. It's a bump in the road. What is wrong with you? Why do you keep falling into it as if it's a cavern? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on with you? Um, so, but that's about me, right? And so there's the whole process, which is the work of I have a vampire here. Why do I have a vampire here? And how do I not get rid of, but how do I support that part of me that feels afraid, that needs support, that lashes out when it feels at risk? How do I rewrite the story, reframe it, support myself, recognize where it came from, help heal that, whatever is needed in order to allow that part of me to feel safe so that it doesn't feel the need to lash out when these attacks happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what's going on, right? I feel attacked and I lash out. I feel unsafe, so I fire back
Yeah.
or fire in whatever, but I fire in a way to protect myself before I realize what's going on.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is like just getting good at like if you can make the goal to get good at recognizing it and being aware, I feel like the that
Great
repetition of
start.
catching it, catching it, catching it, and smoothing it over, smoothing it over, smoothing it over time, it will resolve itself, or the support will appear, and the reaction time will get shorter and shorter, so that
Yep.
as soon as you start getting pulled, you can feel it, and therefore you're jumping over the hole or walking around it or just getting a foot in and not falling into it completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that in the context of like in, instead of like once you're aware of it being like, oh, now I need to go hunt for a solution, and I need to go like
Right. Right.
now I need to go digging, and you're, you know, stressed out to go find a solution. Maybe it's just the act of catching it and being aware will over time, you know, lead to a solution. Um,
I would 90% agree with you.
yeah.
I would say two things. One, that when this was going on this last time, I wasn't consciously saying, oh, now I need to go find a solution. In fact, I had to get to the conscious because it was the unconscious that was acting. And then I would kind of go, why do I feel like shit? Oh, okay, I got to go do this work. But the second thing is, and yes, caught way faster, all the patterns, all the grooves are there to go, oh, that's what this is. Okay, let's go dig this out. Let's go figure out what's going on. Um, but the other piece is that I think without, at least for some of the stuff, doing the work of healing what's inside, you may get better at grabbing the triggers faster and having a better reaction and going away and suit. But in order to actually not get triggered in the first place, you have to do some work around. You
Right.
have to do internal work. That's
Right.
that's what I believe is that you can, sure, you can get very good at it and very smooth, but you're never ever not going to get triggered
Right.
until you can figure out what the triggers are and And it's lovely work, in my opinion,
Hmm.
to be able to, well, we were talking about that a minute ago, where you gather the troops, right? You gather the troops
Yeah.
and say, okay, guys, I got this one. You can go do something else because I'm going to take care of this and we're going to get through it. And because this is
Yeah.
just nonsense. That is that work that yeah, there's an internal piece that says, not only do you not need to be triggered, but tell me the origin story. Tell me, like, what happened. Why do you feel afraid of this?
Hmm.
Right? Why do mean girls trigger you? Well, when I was this, and you get to know younger parts of yourself that got hurt and abandoned.
Hmm. Stupid
And then
mean
it's,
girls.
yeah. I would agree with you, except of course they also were hurt and abandoned, which is how they became mean girls, but that's
Right.
not my problem.
Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people
So
hurt
I've
people.
been told. Yeah.
I think you actually can see it too, though, can't you?
Yeah.